Welcome to episode 101 of the Modern Skein podcast. Yay! My name is Sharon Graff, and I am the owner of the Modern Skein, which is a shop here in Montgomery, Texas.
And I am Becky, store manager at the Modern Skein.
And busily knitting.
Oh, yes.
So fun. So, excuse me, put a little bit more vanilla syrup in that coffee than I expected there to be. I like just that balance of just enough sweet to kind of take some of the bitterness out, but leave some. This is like an extra dark roast. Again, we're doing a weird coffee episode. Mm-hmm. Just a smidge too much vanilla. So hard.
Yeah.
Anywho, this is a yarn shop, and we do talk about yarn. We do have a coffee maker, and we drink a lot of coffee. So the magical bean juice gets us through the day.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get started. I don't have a whip. No, I have lots of whips. This is going to be a great start to the podcast. No, I don't have any finished objects, is what I'm trying to say.
I have a half-finished object, I guess.
You have a hoof? Is it a hoof? I mean, they have an acronym for it, but I can't remember. It's not hoe, is it? Half object everything. I don't know what that would be.
Yes. So so we were both gone last week on vacation. And so, of course, I brought a small project to work on. Because, casting on projects, it's just what I do. It's what we do.
I was about to say. As evident by my two now bags here.
Yes, two very large bags of projects over here. I brought a pair of socks to knit on while I was on my trip.
They're so pretty.
I just did a plain vanilla sock recipe and let the shifting color do its thing. This is some Shirley Bryan yarn. I believe the colorway is man brings back dinosaur, dinosaur kills man, women inherit the earth. It's that quote from Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
So I'm working on the second one, or I started it on that trip but didn't get it finished, or barely anything started. So you can kind of see there is a navy color in there that, because of how I knit this, I didn't get any of the navy into it, which I was a little bummed, but I realized it when I was nearly done and I was not about to rip it back out.
No.
So I think it came with like 2 50-gram skeins, so I'm kind of wondering if I'm not going to be able to use this and pair it with a little like contrast heel toe cuff and do maybe a shorty sock.
Probably do shorty.
So we're going to see what happens.
Definitely.
Yeah. So that's my half-finished object.
Woohoo! I do have a finished object that we can share. It's still barely damp, but it is not knit by me. You can probably guess the next sentence I'm about to say. Our lovely customer Diane is at it again with her amazing knits for the shop. And this one's going to have a special place in the shop soon. I mean, it'll be in the shop, but it's going to have a special new spot once we get we're getting some new rearrangement in the front part of the shop. And this will be...
Which, if you're a local, that is a surprise to no one.
That's true, because pretty much...
It's like at least once a month.
I would say once a month I'm like, this would be better over here. Or something. I'm always looking to improve, Yeah, so if you're looking for everything in exactly the same space, it's probably not going to be there. It's not like we move the yarn all the way around.
No, it's more so just like some of the displays.
It's displays and furniture, mostly. I'm not saying I haven't moved the yarn. That I have done. But anyway, back to the knit. This is Girasole by It's Jared Flood, right? It's a Brooklyn Tweed pattern. I can't remember if it's actually written by
Jared.
I think it's Jared Flood. So it is a beautiful round pie shawl blanket combination. And what I mean by that is it's written, I say it's written for 2 different sizes. They show examples of it in lace weight, which is more shawl size, although I think it could kind of be considered a larger shawl. Mm-hmm. And then worsted weight size, which is more of a blanket. And this is sort of in between because Diane used Piri. I have it folded over just so you can kind of see, but let me unfold it so you can really see the beautiful lace. It's big.
So good.
But, yes, love this. Again, it is a pie shawl. You can knit it pretty much in any weight yarn. So lace weight for a very beautiful little, almost like shawlette kind of a thing. You'll see it pictured on the lady with that, and then in Ravelry. Then they have it pictured in Shelter as more of a throw, which is obviously it's even much larger than this. And then this is done in the Piri, which blooms out beautifully. Let me just show you some of the stitch definition there. It's just gorgeous.
So nice. It's so squishy.
And that's the thing. This is so soft and squishy. It's beautiful. So yes, this is going to have a very nice displayed spot very soon. Hopefully before local yarn store day. Logistics of things, right now with supply chain and everything. So again, that is knit in Piri, and the colorway is the Nocturne color. So it's like a very blue gray.
Yeah.
It's not fully blue, but it is definitely not gray. It's like steel blue gray.
Yeah, like a very steely blue.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice.
It is. So yes, I also went on vacation. We both went on vacation, 2 different vacations, 2 different states.
Yep.
I know we had a few people that thought that I went hiking.
That was me.
No. I may do some weird stuff like go CrossFit at 4 o'clock in the morning, or actually no, I wake up at 4:30. I CrossFit technically at 5:15.
Mm-hmm. And I get sass for going backpacking on vacation.
My idea of vacation is lying on a beach with a book, which is what I did.
I mean, that is delightful also.
Yeah. So that is what I did. Pretty much although it was very cold. I say very cold. It was not very cold. The wind was chilly and the water was 59 to 60 degrees. I did get in the water because, somebody has to look after children who think that's great water temperature to go in the ocean.
Yep.
So somebody who's a qualified swimmer, aka me, was voluntold to go in the water.
I love the phrase voluntold.
Well, I mean, I did kind of volunteer, and then I was, like, hey, so since you're such a good swimmer, do you mind going out there and telling them to not go so far? Sure. So, yes, I was the woman on Galveston Island, if you saw me, who was wading out waist deep with 3 blankets wrapped around her upper body because it was so freezing cold. My line to get the kids back in was, hey, I don't want to get my head wet in this freezing cold water, so get closer into shore so I don't have to come rescue you. That worked.
I mean, it's legit.
Mm-hmm. Anywho, so I did take a whole bunch of knitting. I did not finish anything. I did start something new, but it was also, so I have 2 projects that I'm doing, and I will show them in a second. I'm not just going to monologue ramble. 2 projects that I'm doing for Josh, aka Red Stag Fiber, for an upcoming booth that he's doing. So they're on kind of a deadline, and I need to finish them up. So that's why I've been knitting mostly on those and not things for me. Although as soon as both of those are done, it's me time again. Although it's already me time because I cast something else on yesterday. So let's first show. I did finally finish the body, and I'm working on the sleeve of my Yesteryears. So that was a nice accomplishment.
Woohoo!
I know, it looks so good. So, Yesteryears body and a little bit of an arm as I whack Becky with it. I'm not going to do like the long sleeve, so I didn't do the cropped. I also didn't do the tunic. I did a normal sized. So I'm probably going to do like 3/4 to bracelet length sleeves on this. We'll see. The decreases are rather rapid. I don't know that I love it.
Yeah, those are pretty.
It's every
quick.
6th row.
Okay.
Which is about 1 inch, which isn't that untypical.
Yeah, I guess that's not too bad.
It just, I don't know, it looks, I guess that doesn't look that bad.
No.
Anywho, yeah. So, Yesteryears by Maximum Cyr out of the Worsted book, which, by the way, I am on the wait list for when these get reprinted, but I don't think the ETA is until like maybe June or July. But just know that when they are available again, we will probably do a pre-order once I know I can order them, just to gauge how many of you guys still want to grab one of those books.
It's a good pattern book.
There are several patterns in there, not just the Yesteryears. I mean, the Yesteryears is what made me get the book because I really wanted that pattern. But there are several other patterns in there that are really nice. And at first I was actually kind of turned off by the stratified sweater that like was the one book or the one pattern that everyone was knitting out of there. But I realized what turned me off is all of the colors. I think if you did it in monochrome or like 2-color, that would be good. So anyway, Yesteryears, the yarn is, of course, Red Stag Fiber. It is his new Highland DK base, and it is not something that we have in the store as of yet. You can purchase it directly from his website, redstagfiber.com. No.
All right, Tweety Bird.
Red Stag Fiber, FIBRE.com. But we will be stocking it in the store hopefully soon. He's got a bunch of other wholesale orders, and of course his shows he's getting ready for, so we shall see. Let's see. I'll go ahead and show this. I did start this on vacation as well. It's another sample for Josh. This is the Kodiak out of Laine magazine issue 12. That's the latest one. I'm going to show you the back because the pattern's the same on the front and the back. It's a Henley style. I really love this. You got cables. You've got that beautiful V pattern.
So nice.
Yeah, it's really fun knit, and now it's just in the round. There is a lot of purling because it's reverse stockinette, and with all the cables, it's not something you can knit really inside out. So that one's a little bit slow going because, again, purling's not my favorite. I'm not bad at it or anything, but it's just...
I feel like it just takes me a little bit longer than if I'm just knitting.
Yeah. Especially with me, because of how I knit, I have to like pause at the end and retighten up it's a millisecond pause, but I have to do that little tightening of my purl to make sure my gauge is even. So there's that.
Yeah.
What are you working on?
I guess in that same vein of
sample
knitting for Red Stag.
Highland DK still, but this is Aberdeenshire. Obviously, if you wanted to cast one of these on like right away, you could easily use Estate DK or Croft DK, or frankly any of the wonderful DKs that we have in the store. You could also use, especially for Yesteryears, potentially you could use Malabrigo Rios or Kelborn Woolens Germantown, because it is written for a worsted weight yarn.
that Croft.
Oh, the
Croft
Croft.
from WestFjords, like that texture would be a really good. That might be one of the closest, I think, textures we have.
Yeah.
At the moment that matches that.
The Highland, yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, shelter would be good though.
Ooh, yeah, it would. Yeah, it would.
Yeah.
So, it's not a lot, but it is the beginnings of the hide and peak sweater. You can see I've gotten into that first color chart. So, we are rocking and rolling. This is a sport weight sweater. So it's on the Highland Sport from Red Stag, which we do have in the shop.
We do.
So if you want to knit this sweater, I believe we actually have all of these colors here.
Yes, because we, right before the anniversary week, we got restocked on all the colors we had sold out of. So we have the antique leather back, we have the birch back. Yeah, we have plenty of the per pod, all of the things.
Yeah. So I feel like y'all have seen this color palette because I worked on the hat first and then I'm doing the same color palette, but Welsh slate, antique leather. Just gonna leave them in the plastic bag. And then cobblestone and per pod. So, yeah.
Awesome. So, yesterday...
Cast on day.
It was West Knits Wednesday, which I've tagged Steven and sent him a message and said, you need to capitalize on West Knits Wednesday. I think it's awesome. I'm going to capitalize on West Knits Wednesday. So we'll see. So anywho, I think it's cute. West Knits Wednesday. The shop is hosting a knit along for the WestFjords Wanderer, which is the cover shawl of West Knits Best Knits Volume 3, which we did just restock right before. So if you are looking for this book, we do have it stateside and available. If for whatever reason you think WestFjord Wanderer is too big of a shawl for you, it is 7 skeins of fingering. It's held double, so it's not like a what the fade, but it's a thick fabric and everything else. Feel free to join us with really any West Knits. If you want to grab the book and knit a different West Knits out of here, there's some smaller ones or lighter weight ones as well.
There's some real good ones in there that I was flipping through. Like every time I've opened up my copy of the book to get to this pattern for the WestFjords, I always am just like, I would knit that one and I would knit that one.
I was trying to see the we had it in here. There it is. This one is in the book.
Yep.
Rockefeller Chrysler is in the book, which we have a sample of as well. Is that? Yep. And then there's a few others. The Marled Magic, the Chevron Shenanigans.
It's so good. Shout out to Linda for making
Oh, yes. Linda did that one. She's letting us borrow that. It's not ours to keep. It's just here as a little sample. And again, this one as well. This one was knit by Connie. Again, it's on loan for us.
Yes.
So we love it when customers leave us beautiful pieces. Speckle and Pop is in here as well. I've done that one. That's a fun one. So anyway, I feel like I'm getting very distracted today. You can join us by knitting any West Knits. And I don't know that we set like an end date particularly, but I figure this is probably going to run for maybe 2-ish months until we start like our summer knit along, which I think we have on the calendar. By the way, we're going to be emailing out our calendar of events and classes and stuff like that, knit alongs that are coming up. So if you want to get on that, join our email list, which you can do that on our website. It's just one of those days where I'm like, my brain's like ding, 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 ding,
Ding, ding, ding, ding, ding, ding, ding.
I don't know if
like
it's
a pinball machine.
Maybe it's too much coffee. I'm going to set that aside. Okay. Which I only had, I forgot. I had pre-workout this morning. I was like, I've only had 1 cup of coffee and then this, but then I also had pre-workout this morning, which...
That'll do it.
Yeah. If you don't know what pre-workout is, it's, well, I get like a healthy kind. So it's green tea and like yerba mate. So it's healthy. It's not like a Bang energy drink or Monster. but it's still like 150 grams of, or microgram. I don't know how they measure it. It's a lot of caffeine.
It's a lot.
But you need that when you wake up at 4:30 in the morning and you go to CrossFit.
And yet again, and I got some gripe for going backpacking. If you need to consume mass quantities of caffeine, why?
Yeah.
I mean, I say that. This is like my second cup of coffee for the day, so it's fine. It's fine.
It's all good. So back to our knit.
Back to knitting.
Here's the start, because with WestFjords Wanderer, it's really fun because you start with this really curvy, fun border, and then you pick up and knit the body. Oh, this could be our still shot. We gotta have a screenshot for the, the preview photo. So this is my WestFjords Wanderer beginning. Look at that fade, you guys. It's so good. So I have 7 colors. The gray tonals are, of course, red stag fiber. Cottage sock base is what I went with. And I did Castle Rock, Cobblestone, Stonegate, and Welsh Slate. And then my 3 speckled yarns are my lightest yellow gold, which is right in here, is Old Lang Syne from Suburban Stitcher. We are currently sold out of it, but we are working with Diane to potentially have a trunk show, maybe. Stay tuned. Then we go into Hedgehog Fiber.
It's Zenith.
I was like, it's not Fool's Gold. Zenith is kind of like Fool's Gold, but with a lot more gray and less and no blue.
It is a wonderful Grello.
It is. And then last but not least, we go into Fox. F-A.
Yeah, Fox like Harry Potter Phoenix.
Yes.
Not Fox like
who?
Like
what does the fox say?
Yep, here we are.
By Ching Fiber. So that is my 3 speckled, and they're all gray and yellow speckles, and it's just perfect. And I'm basically trapping my ends in the I-cord on the back.
Yeah. That's become one of my favorite parts of this. Is like, oh, no ends.
Yes.
None at all.
So I'm modifying the pattern by 2 things. One, I'm going to go down a needle size. So I did. I'm doing this on a 7 needle. And 2, I can't remember if Diane watches the podcast or not. But if she does, she is going to laugh out loud. So I didn't like the holes that were happening when I did my short rows. And if you know, you know. If you don't, it's funny. So I am doing, instead of closing the short row gaps like he suggested with his video link, I am doing a traditional German short row or a double stitch short row, which eliminates it's not even really like a hole because you can kind of still see it. I'm pointing at it and you can't see it. Yeah. There's you can kind of see right here, there's like a wider row and then little bits of like a slightly stretched out. It's more of a stretched out look than it is a true hole. That's just my little kind of OCD coming out and wanting it to be perfect, and I just love it. I mean, just look at it. It's so cozy. Ugh, I love it. Okay.
And where Sharon went for a beautiful Grello, kind of monochromatic thing, I went bright, or bright-ish.
It's like perfect.
I love it so much. So I kind of went for a kind of a green teal with a little bit of yellow in there, and then just pops of speckles everywhere. I have 4 speckled yarns and 3 solids, so I kind of flipped it. I am doing the shortcut rows as written in the pattern, and I feel like for the most part mine are like they're closing up pretty well.
Yeah.
I'm happy with it. I was very, very excited to not have to do German short rows the whole time. I feel like this is just so much easier, and I don't think it actually is that much easier, but it works for me, so I'm rolling with it.
Does. I mean, heck, if you wanted to, you could do a wrap and turn.
Oh, yeah.
But that's how I feel about that.
Which is funny, because if I was going to do a different, like an actual short row, I would be doing a wrap and turn. But yeah, so my yarn is kind of a combination of a bunch of things.
But it goes so well. It's like it was made to go together. It really is.
So this is Red Stag Fiber Antique Rose on Cottage Sock. This is Antique from Life in the Long Grass. And then this is also from Life in the Long Grass. This is Cayenne. So those are my 3 solids that are just like a very subtle fade.
Beautiful.
Especially like between the first 2, between Antique Rose and Antique. Like you have, it's hard to, I think it's easier on a camera, but like in person, I feel like I have a hard time like picking up that there is that shift.
Very subtle.
Yeah. And then as far as my speckles, I have Cactus from Ching. All right, so it's the Tetris game we've got going now. Bandit from Hedgehog Fibers, one of the new colorways. These 2 also like are very hard to differentiate in the pattern as I start knitting them up.
This one's just the tiny, it's like the brighter version of Cactus.
A little more saturated. And then Brine, also from Hedgehog, and Renaissance, also Hedgehog.
And what is really cool is every single one has the blush, powdery nude color in them. So you might be like, does that really go with pink? Actually, yes, it does, because they have that unifier in every single skein, which is what makes it really cool.
Yeah. And I love this one also has some of that like brighter orange in there that kind of ties into the Cayenne color.
The Cayenne, and then even the Cactus has some little orange speckles in it too, which is fun.
I'm excited to see, because I definitely feel like those last 2 like pop a good bit as I work the short row section. I'm excited to see how they look as we get into, like, once we get past the wiggly bottom of it and you start working towards kind of that center top of the shawl. You get some like kind of stockinette or some garter ridges, a little bit of lace in there, and I think that's going to be a fun one to showcase. There.
Excuse me. Awesome. So squishy.
It's I'm so ready.
Yes. So I did get a little bit of selfish knitting in yesterday, which was nice. But that's also for me, because you basically do 5 of one wedge, 5 of the other wedge, 5 of the other. It's pretty much, it's TV knitting. So that's nice.
Like once you get the wedge like direction established, I feel like I had to look at the pattern when I switched to left wedges and then back to right. I had to glance at it, and once it was started, I was like, okay, we're good.
We're good, yeah. Yeah. Why don't you go ahead and show that? Because this I haven't cast on, obviously, but this is going to be, once I finish the 2 sweaters for Josh, this is going to be my selfish cast on. I'm so excited.
So this one is covered in dog hair, per usual. Life of a dog mom. This is another test knit, because who's surprised at this point?
No.
This is a test knit for Wool and Pine. It is another one of their upcoming designs called Float Side. It is a kind of nice, light, summery or springy tee. And it's worked from side to side. So it doesn't look like much, but this is the beginnings of my sleeve. You start off with an I-cord cast on, and then you knit for a certain number of rows before you add a whole bunch of stitches along the like side seam, and knit the back panel and then the front panel, and there's going to be some color work along the front as well with some Latvian braids. So I'm very excited to get there. But this is Cactus Moon Soil from Life in the Long Grass, because I love Life in the Long Grass. This is what I've learned. So
Laine
kind of,
Longress is so good.
it's so good. It's just really soft as you work it up. I think is what I like the most. But this is a nice green and purples. I don't think we have any more of this color in the shop at the moment.
No, but I also did a sweater out of Cactus Moonsaw. This one didn't have as much purple in it.
Yeah.
But it's, the main body is Cactus Moonsaw, but I feel like your batch, mine had more of the lighter brown in it, and yours has the light brown in it,
Yes.
but has more purple in it as well.
So you can see some of that purple in there. I think it's just so pretty.
But this is basically the effect that she's going to get, just more purple. But it's going to be this way.
Yep. So, yeah, I'll keep y'all updated as this progresses. I think I have maybe another 10 rows before I do a whole big cast on along the side edge and get to start working some big flat panels. Mindless stockinette time.
Yay.
So, yeah.
Yep, I think that's... Ooh. I mean, I have other whips. I didn't work on anything else the past week. Like I said, while we were on vacation, we ended up playing a lot of games. I read a lot of books. And in case you wanted to know, Infinity Born by, I have no idea who. I want to say Nick Thacker, but that might be the character's name. Yeah, I think it is the character's name. That's not the author. Anywho, that's a really good one. And then The Lost Apothecary. I haven't finished that one, but that's so far so good. So actually, I think it's going to be a thing where now we should ask our podcast people a question.
Okay.
Should they want to participate? And I feel like this is like a non-knitting question, but what are your book recommendations? Because summertime, I love to sit outside and read a book. I did figure out how to balance my Kindle in between my knees and read while knitting, which is really awesome. So bonus points if it's a Kindle Unlimited book for me. That's great. Audiobook recommendations obviously are great as well. Paper book, real books, also good. But yeah, drop your favorite. Here's how we can make it knitting related. Do you knit and read, or knit and listen to audiobooks? Or crochet, listen to audiobooks. Spin, listen to audiobooks. There's no way to spin and, you'd have to listen. You can't fiddle around with a book while you spin. So,
challenge yourself.
Okay, now that I want to see in a video. All right, so drop your book recommendations, and if you craft and read at the same time, or if you have them as two separate hobbies.
Yeah. I currently have V.E. Schwab's The Near Witch as my current audiobook.
Very nice.
So it's a good one so far.
Yay. So moving on to, what would you call it? Dream knitting? Because I'm not knitting it yet. Soon to be whip. Now I'm going to mess up the name of the pattern. It is a pattern, it's written for this. So Cozy?
It's either So Cozy or Something Cozy.
Something Cozy, that's what it is. Because I kept calling it So Cozy, and it's Something Cozy. Something Cozy by Christina Lundborg, aka the dyer of Chelsea Lux Yarn. I snagged from the trunk show. Look at this. This is her Cozy DK, and this is 100% superwash merino, but it's spun like a boucle. And so it's super fluffy. It's kind of an alternative to Fleet by Woolfolk, if you have seen that. But this is one that's getting used by a lot of the hand dyers. You can see there's a up close of.
It's a super fun texture.
It is. I love texture. So, and of course, I love this color. This is Driftwood, one of my favorite colors that she does. So I have this in sweater quantity to do the Something Cozy. Something Cozy is like kind of an oversized sweatshirt kind of knit. It just looks like she styled all of her pictures by the beach. And I was like, oh, that just looks so fun. You can throw it on, everything. You do need, it's written to hold a strand of mohair with it. So I have to decide what mohair I want to put with it. And you know what's kind of weird? But I'm thinking I'm going to play around with pulling out this kind of tone, this beigey brown. I know, predictable for me. But putting that with it, I think that would be really pretty. Although
warm it up a little bit.
It would warm it up. I do have, if all else fails, I have 2 skeins of, also from Chelsea Luxe, 10 Star mohair. I also have the, which one is it?
Is it
this on
Sunken
mohair?
Treasure?
Yeah, the Sunken Treasure. So this on mohair, which is very similar to that warmish kind of color. So either of those could be options. Then I would feel a little bit better about myself because I would be using stash, you know. But yeah, that is future cast on project. So again, probably a late April cast on.
Love it.
So fun.
I mean, speaking of Chelsea Luxe,
It's a great segue.
got a whole bunch right here.
So while we did have to mail the trunk show back, I did have a nice chunk of DK that we kept. So let's go through the Chelsea Luxe DK that we have. We have this in sweater quantities, pretty much in all of them. There's a few colors that we are nearing selling out actually already, though. I say that.
Yep.
But most, I would say we have, maybe not even most. Some of them we have 8 skeins left still.
Yeah.
We have
There's
this.
a decent chunk that we still have at least, I would say, 6 skeins.
Chelsea Luxe is a very popular yarn for us, especially her DK. So it is one we try and keep in on the regular. So first off, classic color from Chelsea. This is Red Carpet. She does just the most beautiful cherry red. Love it.
And then I think this is when we had some before the restock, and then we got it restocked. This is Pink Peony. Really soft pale pink with purple pops and speckles. Rose gold.
Classic color from Chelsea Luxe for sure. I mean, so is Pink Peony.
Yeah. A little bit of you can go to a warmer pink with some good dark speckles in there. And then I love this.
This is a newer color.
Chelsea's Coupe.
That would, you could fade that with the rose gold really nicely.
Yeah, that would be fun. Just
Yeah, I mean, you could do Pink Peony,
go like that.
or you could go a little bit warmer with the Sunken Treasure.
Yeah.
Oh, you could go a different direction altogether and throw in Lavender Latte.
Yep.
Lots of options. We also have Stiletto and Jeans back again. That is always a very popular one, especially for sweaters. Stilettos and Jeans is a great one. We also have what I'm calling the new Stiletto and Jean. This is bleached denim. I have myself a sweater quantity of this, and it's so gorgeous. I need to work on that sweater. This is a new color for her, and I really love it. This is Vanilla Fig. It's so pretty, and it pairs really nicely with Copilot. So, like, color work would be gorgeous. Ooh.
Yeah.
It's an old pattern, but a Tecumseh. I think that would be fun. That would be super fun,
Be a good
actually.
one.
Oh, you could also, if you just wanted to do 2 color, you could do the Marseille sweater. This as your main color and do the stripes in Copilot. That would be fun.
So good. Got a real bright speckle. This is Gumdrop.
Again, that's one of her somewhat newer colors. Maybe spring.
And This is one that I think we only have like 1 or 2 skeins left. But this is Copper Canyon. So really nice rich gold. A touch darker than favorite leather boots.
Again, I think we only have one left of this because it's just so popular.
A little bit darker, but it's got those nice dark brown speckles throughout. And then
sunflower. So
yeah,
you can kind of see
a good fade too.
We're also pretty low in sunflower as well because, I mean, as you can see, they're really awesome colors.
Okay, this is my favorite one. Nobody's surprised, but
no.
This is Robin's Egg. It's a really soft teal. I really want to make a sweater with this and this together to go for a nice, like, kind of soft, beachy kind of palette.
I don't know if it's the right weight, but the On the Beach by Isabel Kramer. But something like with the wide, chunky stripes like that. And
that would be pretty.
That would be fun.
Yeah. I really like this one.
Those are nice. This is Blue Lightning. This is a really rich kind of, I almost consider it more like a cobalt blue. It's a tad lighter than royal blue, I feel. It doesn't have any navy or anything. It's more like just that bright cobalty electric blue. But it pairs really nicely with the bleached denim. It's a little bit brighter, but you could put it with stiletto and jeans.
Yeah.
Actually, this would be fun. Sunday
That's
Times.
good. Yep.
Speaking of which, since it's in my hand, Sunday Times, that's another classic. Black and white speckled. There's also hints of like red and blue in there, which is fun as well.
Kind of keeping with that sort of monochromatic. This is Tin Star. So kind of a cream base.
It's kind of like the neutral version of stiletto and jean.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, stiletto and jean is a neutral in my opinion, but
yeah,
if you're looking for a non-blue.
So this is the literal last skein of this color, and I can tell why, because I love it. It's one of my favorite ones that came in.
It's really good.
This is Lone Wolf, so it's a nice kind of taupey neutral, but there's these pops of like a rich kind of jammy purple in there and some gold speckles. It's so good. It's so good.
It is good. And then we're down to, these are actually two that we've had for a little while, and I think we're down to the last bits. This is Candied Apple. This might be the last one.
It is. That's the last one.
Yeah. Candied Apple is the last one, and then this is Exposed Brick on the Donegal Tweed.
I want to say we probably have like 3 or 4 of that.
Yeah,
if
I was
not,
about to say
one.
we might pull out like a small sweaters quantity potentially, depending on the size and pattern.
Yeah, especially if you pair it with another color to do a little bit of color work, you could make a sweater happen.
Or a big chunky DK shawl. Your choice.
Yes.
So those are those. We also got in. I mentioned this on the live in case you didn't see it. We are fully stocked on the Cipra needles individually. So if you don't want the set, we do have the 5-inch tips and the 3.5-inch tips and the cords.
Which, there's the tips.
Yep.
I enjoy them. I think I'm learning you definitely kind of smell the copper. Like, I think, which is an interesting one. Like, it makes sense. It threw me off the first time I used them. I was like, oh. But I like it.
Yeah. I think they have a better smell than Addie's, personally. I think Addie's stink. But it's the brass and nickel for Addie's that bother me. These are copper. They do, because they are an untreated copper, they will patina. But they do say because they are untreated copper, they potentially have a better feel, more comfortable, less ache for people that have arthritis, or maybe struggle with grip strength or anything like that with their knitting. It's worth a try to try it out. They sell all the copper gloves and bracelets and stuff for that, for your joints. And so this can actually give you a little bit of those health benefits as well.
And then this one, it's hard to tell, but I have one of the clear cords on this.
The clear cords are the swivel cords.
Yes.
So Likey is starting to offer the swivel cords. So the cords will spin without unscrewing your needle, which is very handy. It can be a little weird to get used to at the beginning because you kind of think maybe your needle's unscrewing, but it's not. But I find it's very helpful with moving your stitches around, especially small circumference knitting, things like that. The blush needles and cords, the blush cords and the clear cords right now from Likey are both spin.
Yep.
The classic black ones are their classic non-spinning cords. Kind of the same way with Chowgoo. Chowgoo has the clear spin cords. Their red cords are not spin.
Yep. Figure it's worth throwing out there since we're talking about the blush cords.
Yes.
So this was our first batch of blush cords, which are that kind of, true to
Blush.
what I would describe as blush. Now, most recently, we received these, which are super fun.
Just a bit of a shock.
Yeah.
They
They're
are neon.
like hot pink.
Very hot pink.
I love it, but just a heads up to y'all, we put a note in that listing. If you go to shop our blush cords, some of our most recent size restocks are the hot pink.
Hot pink. I think most of your 5-inch tips are all hot pink.
Yes.
And most of the shorter sizes or the 3.5s are more of the blush.
And important to note also that all of the Leica needles fit all of the Leica cords.
Yes. So if you have the original Driftwood. If you have the original Driftwood tips, you can use the pink cords. You can put the clear cords on them. If you have Cypra needles, but you have black cords, you can vice versa.
So there's the Cypra and the black cord, clear and indigo. So it all
they
works.
all mix and match.
Yep.
We are restocked on fixed needles, both in indigo and in driftwood. I have the most of our interchangeables in blush and, of course, the Cypra right now, but we have the other ones on order. We also did get a very limited, I'm down to 3 of the Cypra 5-inch sets.
Yep.
Did not get any more of the 3.5. They are sold out, but I do have 3 sets remaining of the Cypra sets in the 5-inch tips. The Cypra come in a 12 pair, US 3 to US 15. It's a little bit different than their driftwood or the indigo sets. Just be mindful of that.
Yep.
We do have indigo in the 5-inch tip, and I have driftwood in the 5-inch tip and the 3.5-inch tip. I also have some crochet sets, and I have some double point needle sets, all in Leicas. And I have a blush set, I think.
I think we have a blush 5-inch
have-
set. That's what I'm trying to move this to like.
Just one of the blush left in the 5-inch. So if you're looking for those, snag them ASAP. If it's sold out, when will I get it in? I don't know because they don't tell me.
Yeah.
I have things on order, and I legitimately do not know until it shows up that it's coming.
Mm-hmm. Which is a nice surprise.
It's a surprise, but can be annoying sometimes. Okay, moving on to another new yarn. As we talked about, Piri. So for our anniversary, one of the yarns we were launching at the event was Piri by Brooklyn Tweed. Can I say words right? Just need to say that. So Piri is a beautiful worsted spun 4-ply yarn. I know, it's so pretty. It's kind of weird. You have all the neutrals and I have the brights.
Hey. But I also have all of like the cool tones, which are my happy place.
Yes. So it's a worsted spun 4-ply yarn. It is 20.5 microns, so it's ultra soft. And because it's worsted spun, it's ultra spongy, soft, squishy. It is sold in 25 gram skeins.
I think they're 50 gram. I say that.
No,
I don't actually think it.
It's 50 gram.
Yeah.
50 gram skeins, which is great for color work. You don't have to overbuy a ton. There is 100 and that's meters, 210 yards on the 50 grams. Again, it is a fingering weight, and it's a nice plump fingering weight.
Yes.
So I would say it's fingering to heavy fingering, in my opinion. So just be mindful of that. And it plumps beautifully when it's blocked, wet blocked specifically. So let's go over colors. Before I go over colors, this again, the cool thing about Brooklyn Tweed and why we really love Brooklyn Tweed here, it is 100% American from sheep to skein. So it is American. This is American merino wool, sourced, spun, and dyed all in the United States. If you open up the label, once you get it, it tells you the farm, where it's dyed, where it's spun, where it's the whole shebang.
All the things.
All the things. So, super fun. This is Nocturne. Again, this is the like steel gray blue combination. This is Nori. Really love this. Like deep. This is seaweed green. It really is.
Yeah.
Like a deep, deep olive.
To kind of contrast that Nocturne, this is Henge. You can really see when the two are put next to each other that there's more blue tones there.
Blue versus gray.
We've got Driftwood and Morel.
And you can really see the difference here. This is cool tone. This is warm. So this one is more beigey taupe. This one is definitely more of the gray beige. We have Mesa, which is always a favorite here in the shop.
So pretty.
It's a nice blend of like a coral color and a, it's not like pink, you know? It's just that nudie, rosy kind of color. Marigold. I've really been loving yellow, as you can tell, in my WestFjords Wanderer. So that's a fun one.
We've got Peony, very soft pink.
Very pretty. This is Alizarin. Beautiful red. This one, I would say, leans more on, it pulls just ever so slightly on the orange side. It's not going to be a super blue-based red.
Yeah.
It's just ever so slightly on the tomatoey red.
This is Admiral.
One of my
A
favorites.
real rich blue.
And it's almost got like just a drop of teal in it.
Yes.
Just the tiniest drop.
Yeah.
It's really pretty. This is Cassis, which I love. This is like...
It's a real good, like,
It's not showing
jammy,
up. It's,
purple. Very similar to, like,
Per pod.
Pod.
It's actually very similar. It's actually
A little bit warmer.
touch warmer.
Yeah.
Yeah. But in that same vein.
Gatsby. Just a real good lighter blue.
Almost like light wash denim.
Yeah.
Kind of.
That's a great descriptor of this color.
Ginger snap. I'm really showing a lot of restraint, you guys, and not taking all of the ginger snap home because I want to do, so someone do this. Please go buy me out of all the ginger snap and make a, oh my gosh, the name just went out of my head. It's the Andrea Mowry. It looks like honeycomb.
The wool and honey.
Wool and honey. Yes. She originally used ginger snap, I believe, but in loft.
Yeah.
So you could use Piri.
Another brown. This is Hickory.
It's a really pretty brown, too.
Rich chocolate brown.
This is Butternut. Fun. It's a warm orange. It's not too, like, I would wear this.
Yeah.
I mean, not maybe as like an overall sweater, but in color work or something like that. It's nice. It plays nicely with all the colors. It doesn't like, ooh.
Yep. And Aurora, which
I feel like this is
love.
the most talked about color that we have because it just kind of pops off the wall.
does.
Because it's that green, but it has just a drop of teal in it, and it is beautiful.
I think I saw at one point, like, somebody from Brooklyn Tweed had done, like, a hat. And I don't think we have all the colors here, but it was, like, color work all over the place, and it was using
That's
these.
pretty.
It was so nice.
Oh,
So,
Well,
yeah.
apparently I'm worn out. But, I've been up for quite a few hours now. It's actually a long episode this time.
Yeah.
So, but we had a lot to share with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to go open the shop now because we're
do.
2 minutes from opening. So,
All right.
yeah. Hopefully you comment below and tell us all about your crafting and reading and what you're reading right now.
Yes.
And your book recommendations. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else. That's all I got.
I think that, yeah.
I really don't have anything else. So thanks so much for tuning in. If you're not already subscribed, we would love it if you hit the subscribe button. You can also hit the bell for notifications, and you'll be notified when we upload a podcast, although it doesn't always work for everyone. So just double check that you're doing it. And yeah, we podcast every 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So see you guys in 2 weeks.
Toodles.
Bye.